The U-boat was a German submarine that was relied on in World War I, 1914 to 1918, because it was far more sophisticated than the submarines of other countries at that time. The U-boat's ability to dive for up to 2 hours and fire torpedoes has claimed the lives of a number of enemy ships, even ships transporting people and trade goods. The U-boat transforms into a skilled destroyer hiding under the surface of the seawater and takes many victims. Here are the facts about the U-boat. 1. Capable of carrying 12 torpedoes. Reporting from Britannica.com, Germany was the first country to use submarines in war, namely U-boats. They developed it since 1905. The U-boat submarine is 214 feet long, but like a ghost that can dive and appear anywhere while doing deadly attack. One of the attacks it relies on is 12 torpedoes and launchers. Operation of the ship and launching of weapons is carried out by a crew of 35 ship in it. 2. Block of British waters. The waters around England are U-boat subscription areas in action, which the Germans call war zone waters. Not only did they launch torpedoes from U-boats, in order to block British waters they also used water mines. But the U-boat torpedoes are the most famous in destroying 3 British cruisers in 1 hour, namely Aboukir, Hogue, and Cressy. Not only British warships, in the end the target of U-boats also includes ships carrying merchandise and people passing through the waters of the war zone. 3. Making Germany superior. Germany excelled with its advanced submarine technology, which killed 1,400 British sailors during the destruction of Aboukir, Hogue, and Cressy. This awakened the British and proved that submarines were a more effective lethal weapon than war on water. Germany succeeded in closing sea access to Britain and its allies, but victory was not determined until conditions reversed when the United States, U.S., entered battlefield. 4. Enraged the U.S. in February 1915, Germany declared unlimited war, which meant they would attack anyone who entered the waters of the war zone, both adversaries and neutral parties. A month later, the Germans announced that their cruiser had sunk the U.S. ship named William P. Frye. This started to infuriate the U.S. Moreover, several U.S. civilian ships, which at the beginning of World War I declared neutral, also fell victim to a German mine. On the 7th of May of the same year, U-boats fired their torpedoes at the ocean liner Lusitania, causing 1,198 the passengers died, including 128 Americans. Anger was again expressed by the U.S. with Germany's demands to stop attacking the transport ships unarmed. That August, the Germans promised to rescue passengers from the target ship before they blew it up. America's biggest anger occurred when a U-boat sank the U.S. ship named Housatonic one day in 1917, prompting the U.S. to declare war on Germany. With the presence of the U.S. on the battlefield, Germany was no longer able to excel and instead lost when World War I ended on November 11, 1918. Germany first developed a submarine in the 1850s. However, the first German-built submarine sank in the port of Kiel during trials on February 1, 1851. In 1980, Germany returned to developing submarines, which were named Nordenfeldt I and Nordenfeldt II. Friedrich Krupp Shipyard Germaniawerft, located in Kiel, then managed to complete the creation of a fully functional submarine in 1903. The German submarine was given the name Forelle and sold to Russia. The submarine was even used in the Russo-Japanese War that occurred in April 1904. Since then, Germany continues to develop submarines with better functions and technology. Until finally, Germany already had 38 submarines when World War I erupted in 1914. German U-boat submarines won against British warships at the beginning of World War I. At first, Germany only relied on U-boat to face enemy warships. However, since February 1917, Germany has also used U-boats to sink merchant ships. Because of this, the United States began to intervene in World War I until April 1917. It was recorded that there were 430 Allied ships in other countries with a displacement of 852,000 tons, which was sunk by a German submarine. At that time, Germany looked as if it would win the war, but the United States came with more ships. At the end of World War I, Germany deployed 334 U-boats and another 226 submarines in the process of being built. German U-boat strength peaked in October 1917, by which time they had 140 submarines. However, Germany only had fewer than 60 submarines at sea at any one time. As for World War I, which lasted from 1914 to 1918, German U-boats were recorded to have destroyed more than 10 million tons of enemy ships. This was somewhat extraordinary because the size of the German U-boat submarine was quite small, which was less than 1,000 tons. When an armistice was reached in 1918, Germany had to give up all of their U-boats. Under the Treaty of Versailles, Germany was also banned from owning U-boats in the future. However, Adolf Hitler, Germany's leader at the time, refused to comply with the agreement and continued to build ships another U-boat dive. When World War II began in 1939, Germany deployed 57 U-boats and succeeded in destroying British warships. Relying on U-boats, Germany also narrowly managed to cut the British Atlantic lifeline in March 1943. However, Germany then lost 41 submarines. Due to losses to escort carriers and long-range reconnaissance bombers deployed by the enemy. The destruction of the U-boats also made the Germans finally withdraw temporarily from Atlantic in May 1943. As for World War II, which lasted until 1945, Germany was recorded as having 1,162 U-boats, but 785 of them were destroyed and sank. On May 30, 2014, the Indonesian Navy's Kopaska expedition team discovered a sunken U-boot. Inside were found 2 human skulls and a submarine. The escape device is believed to have been used by the crew to save themselves when the submarine sank. The wreck of the U-boot with hull number 168 was found at a depth of 25 meters on the seabed in Karimunjawa waters, Jepara, Central Java. On the body of the U-boot, several gunshot marks were found which were thought to have come from an Allied ship. When found on the seabed, this U-boot was in a badly damaged condition, allegedly caused by a torpedo fired by a Dutch ship. For your information, during World War II, Germany allied with Japan, so it was automatic against the Netherlands. Inside the U-boot carcass, a number of objects were also found which were taken for research. Among them is a plate with the swastika behind it, bowls, glasses, perfume bottles, wine bottles, and sake bottles complete with kanji letters on the outside. According to international agreements, a sunken foreign submarine remains the property of the country concerned, including the objects in it. Indonesia has no right to tinker with German belongings, said head of the research team at the National Archaeological Center, Bambang Budi Utomo, April 14, 2015. Based on historical records, at that time the Allies did indeed build U-boot ship bases around the waters of Karimunjawa, Surabaya and Jakarta, at the request of Japan, which had an interest in protecting Indonesian waters from the Dutch. Of the 3 places, only the location in Karimunjawa was found. There were around 13 people who died when the U-boot sank in Karimunjawa waters, while 20 other people managed to save themselves. The German ambassador to Indonesia at the time, Georg Wischel, asked the Indonesian government to keep the U-boot in place and make it object of research observation.